Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Dr. J Shankars explores future avenues of cooperation at the 16th India-Japan Foreign Ministers Strategic Dialogue in Tokyo, underlines the need for reforming the United Nations at the Raisina Roundtable earlier. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Jammu and Kashmir, launches key development projects, says youth are getting equal opportunities post-abrogation of Article 370. And Russia prepares for presidential polls amidst the war in Ukraine. Ballot papers delivered in annexed Crimea. Troops advance in eastern Ukraine. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. J Shankars spoke about maritime safety in Japan, where he addressed the first Raisina Roundtable on Thursday. The minister noted that India and Japan enjoy special strategic and global partnership with the intent to meet the challenges facing the global order. Dr. J Shankars is on a two-day visit to Tokyo, where he will also take part where he has participated in the Foreign Minister's Strategic Dialogue with his Japanese counterpart. The External Affairs Minister reached Japan after concluding his visit to South Korea, where he met the top leaders during his stay.
As to powers that are so central to multipolarity in Asia, it is also in our common interest that the overall balance remains in favor of freedom, openness, transparency, and a rules-based order. The world will watch how we support each other in this shared goal through various relationships and initiatives. FOIP, which Prime Minister Kishida mentioned at length, is particularly important in this regard.
External Affairs Minister Dr. J Shankars thereafter delivered a joint press statement along with Japanese Foreign Minister Kamikawa Yoko in Tokyo. The minister said that he exchanged views with his Japanese counterpart on regional and major global issues.
And I thank Foreign Minister Kamikawa for hosting us so graciously this evening. In the first half of our dialogue, which has just concluded, the two of us had wide-ranging and forward-leaning discussions covering the entire gamut of our bilateral relations. I also look forward to exchanging views on major regional and global issues in the remaining part of our dialogue.
Further, Dr. J Shankars said that talks between the two nations provided strategic guidance to realize the vision of India-Japan strategic global partnership.
Our meeting allowed us to take stock of various ongoing lines of effort since the dialogue was last held in July in New Delhi. We agreed on the need for new steps, many of which my colleague the minister spoke about, for which to make this relationship prepared for and responsive to emerging geopolitical, geo-economic and geotechnological trends, and as well to the growing demands of the people of the two countries to get to know each other better. Our talks provided strategic guidance to our teams to realize the vision of the India-Japan Special Strategic Global Partnership, and that the expectations that our leaders have of this partnership.
Dr. J Shankars said that cooperation in defense and cybersecurity is going on between the two countries.
As we are meeting here in Tokyo, the Indian Army is conducting joint exercises with the Japanese Self-Defense Force in the Rajasthan state of India. The three branches of our military and Coast Guard are productively engaged with the Japanese counterparts with greater ease through the newly operationalized reciprocal partnership arrangement. There have been exchanges about cooperation possibilities in areas of jointness and new domains like cyber and space.
India has raised concerns over the situation evolving in the Red Sea, saying maritime safety and security have become particularly pressing concerns. The External Affairs Minister pushed for strengthening defence capabilities of the two countries for the benefit of the larger region.
As a voice of the global South, India is particularly conscious of this responsibility. Our development efforts today span 78 nations across different continents. Can India and Japan coordinate in regard to their development assistance? Sixth, the responsibility to safeguard and secure is no less onerous. Maritime safety and security have become particularly pressing concerns. We can see that at the Red Sea every day. We've just had the first casualties there in shipping. So have issues of cyber security. At the same time, the challenges of the past and the present remain very, very much with us. Counter-terrorism is a good example. It is also necessary to strengthen our defense capabilities for the benefit of the larger region.
The Indian minister's remarks came after Houthi missile attack killed 3 seafarers on the Red Sea merchant ship on Wednesday. These are the first fatalities reported since the Iran-aligned Yemeni group began strikes against shipping in one of the world's busiest trade lanes. 4 other crew members were also injured, with 3 of them in critical condition. The vessel too sustained significant damage. Houthis claimed responsibility for the attack, which set the Greek-owned Barbados-flagged ship True Confidence ablaze around 50 nautical miles off the coast of Yemen's port of Aden. Britain and the United States have been launching retaliatory strikes against the Houthis. The US military on Wednesday carried out strikes against 2 unmanned aerial vehicles in Yemen that presented an imminent threat to merchant vessels and US Navy ships in the region. On its part, the Britain embassy has tweeted on the death of innocent sailors, saying, "This was sad, but an inevitable consequence of the Houthis recklessly firing missiles at international shipping. They must stop," the statement read. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Jammu and Kashmir to participate in the Viksit Bharat, Viksit Jammu and Kashmir program with an aim to boost agri-economy and tourism on Thursday. PM Modi inspected the exhibition and walked through the stalls displaying Jammu and Kashmir's local arts and culture by the artisans. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, felicitated Prime Minister Narendra Modi and gifted him a painting on the occasion. The Indian Prime Minister launched and dedicated multiple projects worth over 5,000 crore rupees to the nation. Prime Minister Modi also distributed appointment letters at Srinagar's Bakshi Stadium. Further, Prime Minister Modi interacted with the beneficiaries from Shopia, Jammu, Kupawada, Srinagar, Ganderbal, Bandipora and Kathua and Kishtawar districts.
नाम नाजिम नजीर है। मैं पुलवामा के सांबुरा गांव का रहने वाला हूं। मेरी जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई 2018 में। मैंने अपने घर के छत पे 2 मधुमक्खी के बक्से रखे थे और मैं उस टाइम पे 10वीं जमात में पढ़ता था। 2019 में मैंने सोचा कि इन 2 बक्सों को मैं कैसे बढ़ाऊं, तो मैं सरकार के पास गया। मुझे उस टाइम पे 50% की सब्सिडी पे मुझे 25 बॉक्स मिले और 25 बॉक्स मिलने के बाद मैंने पहली उससे एक्सट्रैक्शन की ऑलमोस्ट 75 केजी। जब मैंने वो 75 केजी एक्सट्रैक्ट किए, उस टाइम पे इतना डेवलप नहीं था। मैं अपना शहद ड्यू बोतल में भर के गांव में बेचता था। उस टाइम पे मेरी पहली आमदनी थी 60,000 रुपए। मैंने उस टाइम पे एक सहारा लिया PMEGP का। PMEGP के तौर मुझे 5 लाख रुपए मिले और मैंने अपना एक कारोबार बढ़ाया। और 2020 में मैंने सर अपनी वेबसाइट खोली और वेबसाइट खोलने के बाद धीरे धीरे मेरा एक बड़ा ब्रांड बन गया। और ब्रांड बनने के बाद हमने ऑनलाइन हजारों केजीज के शहद बेचे। धीरे धीरे करके मेरे साथ लगभग 100 बंदे सर जुड़ गए जो ये मधुमक्खी का काम करते हैं।
और आपने एक प्रकार से स्वीट रिवॉल्यूशन, हमने ग्रीन रिवॉल्यूशन सुना है, हमने व्हाइट रिवॉल्यूशन सुना है, आज मेरा कश्मीर नाजिम जैसे युवाओं के कारण स्वीट रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर रहा है। बहुत बहुत बधाई।
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi also launched the Chalo India Global Diaspora campaign in Srinagar to inspire the Indian diaspora to become incredible India ambassadors and promote tourism to India. The members of the Indian community in Dhaka joined the launching of the Chalo India Global Diaspora campaign at the High Commission of India in Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi requested the Indian diaspora members to encourage at least 5 non-Indian friends to travel to India. The High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Pranay Verma, officials of the High Commission and Indian diaspora in Bangladesh were present during the launch of the campaign. Among the slew of projects launched by the Prime Minister, one was the integrated development of the Hazratbal Shrine, which holds immense cultural significance in Jammu and Kashmir. A report.
Situated on the left bank of the famous Dal Lake in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Hazratbal Shrine holds relevance to Muslims as it is believed to preserve the sacred hair of Prophet Muhammad's beard. In an effort to create world-class infrastructure and amenities for pilgrims and tourists visiting the Hazratbal Shrine and to enhance their holistic spiritual experience, the project Integrated Development of Hazratbal Shrine has been executed. The key components of the project include site development of the entire area, including construction of boundary wall of the shrine, illumination of Hazratbal Shrine's precinct, improvement of ghats and devri pats around the shrine, construction of Sufi interpretation center, construction of tourist facilitation center, installation of signages, multi-level storied car parking, construction of public convenience blocks and entrance gateway of the shrine. The projects to be developed with over $4 million will increase tourism and will generate direct employment for the locals. Not only this, it will also boost and promote local handicrafts, cuisines, art and culture in the entire region. To be revamped under the pilgrimage rejuvenation and spiritual augmentation drive, the Hazratbal Shrine holds immense cultural significance in Jammu and Kashmir. Prasad provides financial assistance to state governments, union territory administrations for infrastructure development at tourist destinations. With inputs from Ramatyagi, DD India.
The Indian Navy has been consistently providing support to the merchant vessels that come under attack by the Houthis. In the latest instance, the Indian Navy came to the rescue of Barbados-flagged bulk carrier MV True Confidence. The vessel was reportedly hit by a drone or a missile on Wednesday. The attack resulted in fire on board and critical injuries to some of the crew members, forcing the crew to abandon the ship. INS Kolkata, deployed for maritime security operations, arrived at the scene of action and rescued 21 crew members, including one Indian national, from the life raft, using its integral helicopter and boats. Critical medical aid was provided to the injured crew by the ship's medical team. The rescued crew, including the critically injured personnel, have been evacuated to Djibouti by INS Kolkata.
We use the helicopter and we pull up 8 people and then we send our boat because some people are very injured so they cannot come by helicopter, so we send 2 boats and we put them in the boat and brought them to the ship. I'm very happy that the Djibouti government has very quickly given us berth.
The Indian Consulate in Dubai has introduced a fresh insurance package for Indian blue-collar workers to provide financial benefits to the kin of the deceased in case of natural and accidental deaths. This innovative insurance package, known as the Life Protection Plan, not only provides coverage for natural deaths but also offers a range of benefits. Concerns over the lack of insurance coverage for natural deaths have been mounting. These include 24-hour global coverage, death benefits for both natural and accidental causes, as well as compensation for permanent, total or partial disability resulting from accidents. Additionally, the plan covers repatriation expenses of up to 12,000 AED per person in the unfortunate event of a worker passing away due to either an accident or natural causes. Beneficiaries are eligible to receive compensation ranging from 35,000 dirham to 75,000 dirham, depending on the selected premium. This scheme is effective from March 1st this year, and the LPP offers various sum assured options with minimal premiums starting at 37 AED per annum. Roona Rafiq, a woman entrepreneur from Assam who has broken all stereotypes and has gone on to become the most promising farmer of Assam. She's won many accolades for her innovation in animal farming. She set up a firm called Blue Planet Amalgamated. Under this banner, she set up her poultry farm, Saraighat Farm in Kamrup district. Our correspondent Subina Roy talked to her and detailed her entrepreneurship journey on the occasion of International Women's Day.
On the occasion of International Women's Day too, we have with us a well-known entrepreneur from Assam. She has established her own brand, Saraighat Farms. Hello ma'am, for talking to DD India. So how did you start how did the idea of having your own startup come about, since you were in a cozy job with the Assam government, and how did it come to your mind?
Well, when you become too cozy, you feel as if you're dying. That's what happened with me, because I felt there was no challenges in life, because the job was comfortable and I was, that's when it struck me, and I was so cozy and I started to get bored. And then also traveling all over Assam and the northeast, I started to feel very strongly that we have this land, we have water, we have people all over, things can happen here, and yet so many crores of rupees are going out of Assam and the northeast with every meal, That's when I thought, why not start a piggery farm and, try and stop this money from going out at least. That's how we had started.
So when we talk about women empowerment, and since you are women and you have started this new startup, so do you look forward to empowering women through your business?
Surely. Actually, this whole issue of women and the state they are in, it affects me. As a woman, I feel it, and therefore I feel the need to, help other women come up. So this cluster of women farmers that I'm planning to do with women.
We have heard that when a woman is educated, a family gets educated. But now, as Roona ma'am says, when a woman invests, she also invests in a society. With camera person Pranab Chaitya, Subina Roy, DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. Still to come on this edition. US President Joe Biden to deliver his fourth State of the Union address tonight. Donald Trump says he will do live play-by-play of Biden's address, challenges him for a debate. Russia takes more ground in East Ukraine for a third consecutive week. Ukraine loses another ship at sea. European Union's primary political faction endorses Ursula von der Leyen for a second term to lead the EU's executive branch.
Why is Donald Trump threatening to leave NATO to fend for itself? Is crypto the future of digital money, and are we ready for it? Is there a whole new world out there deep under the Pacific? Watch Connecting the Dots to get the full picture every Friday at 8 p.m. IST on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. The process for presidential election in Russia due on 15th to 17th of March is already underway. Ballot papers for the elections were delivered to Sevastopol in annexed Crimea on Wednesday. The election officials said 3,33,900 ballots have been printed for the city, which is over 2,000 less than the registered voters. As per Local Election Commission Secretary, almost 24,000 voters are voting remotely with electronic ballots. This is for the second time that Crimean voters are taking part in Russian presidential polls after Russia annexed Crimea and Sevastopol in February 2014. DD India's Dasha Chandishova has more.
Ukraine does not recognize Crimea as part of Russia. Nevertheless, almost 10 years, Russia has been calling this territory as its own, and the election in which the people will be voting for the Russian president between the 15th of March and the 17th of March are due to be held there as well. We understand that the special ballot boxes have already arrived to the peninsula. These are the electronic ballot boxes that will provide for the quick count of the votes, and obviously the Russian authorities are taking all the measures that are required to provide for the security. We have seen indeed several attempts by the Ukrainian armed forces to attack this peninsula, including from the sea and with the naval drones that have been designed by Ukraine, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense. But nevertheless, all of the security measures are in place, and that's why it is said to be safe enough for the residents to go to the ballot boxes and to cast their votes even on the election day. We also understand that the election will be held for 3 days, and there will be also the system of electronic voting. This is something that has become the reality and the new normal after the COVID-19 time. So indeed, the election is slated to be held in this region as well as in other regions that Russia now calls as its own, the so-called new territories.
Russian troops are continuing to move forward in eastern Ukraine for the third consecutive week. After capturing the strategic city of Avdiivka in February, Russian troops have advanced to the outskirts of Orlivka and Berdyansk. The Russian Defense Ministry said Moscow's forces took 4 months to advance through the Donetsk region before seizing Avdiivka. In response, a top Ukrainian commander has said that the military will stabilize the battlefield situation shortly and aims to form units for counter-offensive actions later this year.
Our goal is to stabilize the front line, to cause as much damage to the enemy, exactly what we are doing, and to regroup in order to withdraw units that require restoring. Withdraw the units to bases to form offensive grouping and conduct counter-offensive actions this year.
And to give us the Ukrainian side, we have DD India correspondent Megumi Lim reporting from Kiev.
Russian forces have continued to try to advance forward and try to apply pressure all along the 1,000-kilometer-long front line. Now, one of the objectives of this is to make sure that Kiev's troops don't have the time to replenish, to regroup, and that this pressure will allow Russian troops to continue to move forward and seize more villages. Now, according to the latest intelligence update by the UK Ministry of Defense, they've said that Russian forces have intensified their attacks around the town of Bakhmut, which was captured by Russian forces in May of last year. And if we remember, this was the last significant battlefield gain for Moscow before the fall of Avdiivka, before they captured Avdiivka in February last month. And now Russian forces are trying to advance forward, and it looks like they have already made some gains and have taken parts of some villages surrounding Bakhmut. And also on the same axis, we're seeing Russian forces intensify their attacks around Chasiv Yar, which is about 5 kilometers from the front lines. This appears to be one of their immediate operational objectives, to seize this town of Chasiv Yar.
On to the United States now. After a sweep of the Super Tuesday votes, Donald Trump has challenged Joe Biden for a TV debate. The Republican stated online in all caps that he would participate in a TV forum with the Democratic president anytime, anywhere, any place. Trump's challenge also came hours after his Republican rival Nikki Haley dropped out of the race to be the Republican nominee for the White House. However, no debates have so far been agreed to ahead of the November's presidential elections. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden is set to deliver the fourth State of the Union address of his presidency on Thursday, an opportunity for him to highlight his successes and chart a path forward. Biden is expected to discuss his handling of the economy, reproductive rights, gun control and immigration at the address. The European Union's primary political faction, the centre-right European People's Party, held a vote on Thursday to endorse Ursula von der Leyen, the current European Commission President, for a second term to lead the EU's executive branch. Running unopposed in the EPP ballot, von der Leyen highlighted challenges such as the conflict in Ukraine, the Gaza crisis and the rise of China as key concerns for the 27-member EU, comprising approximately 450 million people. This vote precedes a European-wide parliamentary election in June, which will determine new top officials, including the head of the Brussels-based European Commission for the next 5 years. And on to some sporting action now. India finished day one of the fifth and final test match against England on a high. A brilliant bowling display from India's Kuldeep Yadav and R. Ashwin's masterclass saw India bowl out England to a paltry total of 218 runs at Dharamshala. Kuldeep Yadav took his fourth 5-wicket haul, giving away 72 runs. Together with R. Ashwin, who took 4 for 51, the duo shared 9 wickets between them, with Ravindra Jadeja chipping away with 1. In the second session, England lost 6 wickets for 94 runs. At one stage, they were cruising at 137 for 2, but lost the next 8 wickets for just 81 runs. In the morning session, opener Zach Crawley made a classy unbeaten half-century after surviving an extended opening spell from the Indian pacers. He scored his 5th 50 of the series, but again failed to convert it. 50s by openers Rohit Sharma and Yashasvi Jaiswal took India to a commanding 135 for 1 at stumps thereafter. So that's it in this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from my entire team in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.